All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in November 7th, 2019, and the stock market is getting ready to move big. There is a unique situation and a unique piece of news. We actually did get negative trade war news today. If you guys saw, we talked about it in the watch list yesterday. Kind of came faster than I expected, but now the market is setting up for a very unique opportunity. And what I mean by it's going to move big, literally, even based on the reaction we saw right here after that negative news today, there is going to be either a monster short squeeze or some of the bad news is going to start settling in. So I want to talk about what specific factors that's going to be, and then we are going to go over our earnings play. So hopefully you guys have been paying attention. Congratulations to everybody who made it. Now, God willing, it stays up at this price because we can't count them just before they hash. And now I won't even talk about how we're going to play this tomorrow. But the Qualcomm's hit, baby. I cut half before close, but even off of the 50 contracts I'm holding, I'm expecting they're going to be anywhere from $4,000 to $15,000 tomorrow. It all depends really upon the implied volatility and how much actually gets held up, because there was a lot of IV coming into this. There was that, and then we also had Expedia, which we did on stream. So hopefully, I can't say this enough, you guys. Hopefully you're there. Make sure you're on the stream. We are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's in the first link in the description, and it's pinned in the comments. And if you missed it, you got to get your stream insurance. That Scream Alerts is right there. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out, better to have it, not need it than need it, not have it. But today was very exciting, so we're going to go over those plays. We'll talk about kind of the strategy with this and some of these other post earnings and what to be watching here for the market. So let us get into it. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch list below. Let us know what you're playing. Let me know, man. Y'all cashed out on Qualcomm. Y'all got to pay the plug. Y'all got to be positive in some way, shape, or form. But it's good. Show love. Show the cult being positive and successful. It's good to see, but it's not over yet, baby. You better stay in the game. You better act like you've been here before. It's going to be fun. I know. Yeah. Clap it up. Get it out of it. All right, let's go. Word. But right off the bat, earnings season, baby. There is still earnings wrapping up. And again, every time there's been these big earnings and we've seen these companies and we're seeing a lot of these non-name brand movers moving, we are going to get continuation plays, and that is going to be the key coming into tomorrow and what we got to watch out for here. And then at the same time, earnings is wrapping up now. We're getting past some of these big weeks. It's going to be more and more obscure companies, and the market and individual names are going to start doing their own thing. And for the next 2 months, they're going to diverge and converge until we get to the next earnings and see where the market's at. But this is going to have to do with the Qualcomm. Watch the price pre-market in the morning. You're either going to ride it up if it is strong and it could hold up, because Qualcomm did touch 90.50 at one point. Ours is at 92, so we'll still be up extrinsically. But the key is going to be where it opens tomorrow with the earnings. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But to simply get straight to the point with it, if it's strong, we're going to ride it up there. If it starts to look a little bumpy in the morning and it could open up high and then start to sell off a few dollars instantly, probably look to sell and then parlay it and go to even maybe some weeklies or shorter terms, or try to keep some at different strike price to keep some on the table but still book some of the profits, because tomorrow's going to be a good day to take some profits on stuff. So yalla. But the main thing that I'm looking at here is earnings is wrapping up. We got somewhat of bad trade news today, and now the earnings is going to go away, and the market is going to start responding to that when it's not pricing in all these moves and getting prepared to move. However, what today showed us, though, we had the bad news and the market's not responding the same. They're kind of getting a different narrative from China. And again, Mr. Yuan is very strong. So until the yuan comes back up, I'm not going to really worry too much. That's why when I'm looking at this, and even how we've stayed up for the last few days, how dollar volume-wise, this has been a big increase in volume. I don't know if you guys could see it. It may look like volume stayed the same, but you could see it slowly coming up. But the price has increased, and that is telling you something. That means more money is slowly coming into the market, even though you can't really see it as well. But, and I don't care if it's the Fed, I don't care who it is. If they buying, they buying, you know what I'm saying? But that gets set up for a pretty big short squeeze, so that's what I'm going to keep my eyes out for, and that's what I'm kind of hoping with some of these earnings plays, because then after that squeeze, that could even create the next move. So I think November, December is about to be really, really fun, and we got some free money here to parlay, hopefully. But that's the key there. After earnings and with this setup, we're either going to get a short squeeze, or the news is going to start pricing in the markets negatively. So I am going to start expecting a big move here as we start getting earnings wrapping up and we start letting other things digest, even the impeachment stuff. So I just hope you guys are ready. Be smart. Keep your head in the game. Stay hydrated, healthy. You know, we talked about this, but let us get into the plays. So as far as what we did, you guys saw the Qualcomm. We couldn't shut up about this all day or all week, really. I ended up selling 100 of those, but we're still holding them, and these are going to go up because they have time. The puts are going to go down, so we'll lose that money, but we've already lost half of it. You can see we're already up $1,000 when it was at 85, so IV is going to drop, but now the price is going to increase. So at around like $90 or $89, we should be up around 500 to 700% on the contract. So total was, I have 950 on the calls. Times that by 5, around 4,000, 5,000 bucks. 700% will be a little bit higher there. So I'm going to watch out for that. But now, why did I sell 50 before? I was talking about it. I just wanted to make sure you guys didn't gamble too hard on it, and I know you guys see what I do with it, but ultimately, it was a pretty good win-win when I did the math. Although I only walked away with 900 of the profit because I was up $1,900 total. I got 900 of the profit, but then when I looked at the total amount, I sold 50 of these at 37. I got back like $1,800, and then when I'm looking at here, well, my total investment was $1,900. Pretty much, I got to play this play for $100. And I was thinking, well, if I lose, I'll really only be down $100 on it. We got the cash. I was already comfortable if I lost the full 3,000 we were in before. So I said we might as well make it a win-win, because I said even if I was expecting it to do good and I thought the 92 was in one standard deviation it could hit, but then I'm thinking, 50 contracts, it has enough leverage for me. And then we got the other ones on the Robinhood. We got 94 calls, so those aren't going to go up as much, but it still should be decent for that size of the account. But all in all, playing this in the morning, that is going to be the main thing that I'm going to be looking for, which is going to be how does it open tomorrow, and moving forward to either sell some and roll over some of the profits to keep some on the table. But depending on how strong it holds up, and again, what news we see in the morning, and if the market holds up, and again, what prices mean nothing right now. There's bad news. This thing could really gap down tomorrow, so keep praying. But we'll see what happens in terms of where it opens and how much stronger, because it was a great earnings, great guidance, great phone call. So there's a lot of good things going. So if the market could take it with it and we get even some of that short squeeze, it's going to be a fun ride. But we did that play. But another play I did, we're also going to be watching, was Expedia. We got these. I went both ways, $90. But both of these, remember, we've been doing this criteria. Qualcomm met that, and so did Expedia. So Expedia dropped now, but you could see, I don't know if it's showing it. It's different now because they reported, but this is what it was expecting. It met in line with the 75% expected move. I disagreed, and I was able to get literally just right in between two standard deviations, literally just right outside one standard deviation for 45 bucks on both sides. So it was a cheap play on both of those. We snagged those up and it hit, and now we're actually going to be $3 in the money now on Expedia. So that's the difference. Qualcomm, we're going to be up extrinsic value because it's not at 92 just yet, but if you got those Expedias, it's at 117, 118. We got the right at 121, so that's a $3 difference. That'll be 1,000%, 40 bucks into 300. So that's going to be an awesome play. And then lastly, we got the Rokus and the Square. Roku dropped, but remember, we're really far at the money. The thing was, this was a big drop, and if you also see, it moved $19. It was pricing around 22 both ways. The pricing has been very accurate. So now the key with Roku, watching how this opens in the morning, our 105s or like the 93s, they are going to go up, but not too much. But again, if this has a continuation, you could double down on those tomorrow possibly, and those could be good ones to average. So I'm going to watch those tomorrow. And then Square, it didn't do much. And now this was kind of surprising, but not really. Remember, Square isn't a big one. They missed really bad, and they decreased their guidance. But the thing with Square, if it doesn't move too much here, there's going to be a big continuation. So all of these for continuations tomorrow are going to be fire. And then there's going to be also Baidu. They went up. The calls, we looked at the pricing again. I just don't like playing them. It met the pricing criteria, but it didn't move outside. But it was clearly showing the calls were more expensive. There's a lot of upside on Baidu. So if that starts to take off, that could even go up to like 120, 121. I know that's a favorite range up there. And then lastly, Win. They had a pop lock and drop it indigenous to earnings. So you saw that move that it made. It's going to be crazy. So, and I say that because Win is just a very volatile, all over the place, expensive, widespread, but it kind of is going to be like Baidu. It'll be a little riskier, but if that starts to make a clear trend, you could go after that. And then lastly today, Boeing. They had bad news, something with the FAA probe or something like that, and they kept selling off. So watch, because if they start setting kind of a new range here, it's going to kind of do one of the same things here. So that's usually going to set up for a good opportunity. We were talking iron condors. So those are going to be the main ones. Then watch Apple, but there was also stuff after hours. Well, also too, watch Intel and some of the other chip makers, because Qualcomm, still keep your eye on Walgreens in that buyout. But now Google, they changed some stuff with their policy, I believe, with political ads. So watch how that affects it. Then today, there was also bad news on Facebook in a probe with California, and something about investigating more of these privacy violations. So what happens with Facebook could be very interesting, and Google. And again, tech was a big leader down today. So see if that continues, and Amazon gets an honorary mention. And then Uber, they dropped a lot today, had a big bounce up. A lot of people asked me to buy this to long term. I'm not too sure yet. I think it'll stay around there. I think if you really plan to hold it, but there's a lot of shares dumped. If you guys even see the volume there, it's at a lower price, but this is almost as many shares dumped from the IPO, so it's crazy to see. But I'm gonna keep my eye out there. If it does drop a little bit more, it could be good. It's kind of reminding me of Facebook in a weird way, so we will see what happens. But it does start to get a little bit more appealing there as a growth stock for the portfolio. So keep your eyes on those. And then lastly, watch the value momentums, watch HD and McDonald's. HD went up, and watch to see how the market rotates and reacts with all these. That is going to be a key factor to be watching. But in general, also watch what's happening with the restaurant stocks. I said these would have been good for put spreads, so see what happens if they start to come down again. That'll be one thing, but again, it could start to set up some pretty good iron condors. So that's what I want to start looking at. And then also Starbucks. So depending on how we cash out tomorrow, I'm going to be looking at all these and seeing what we could parlay into. We're going to walk away with a nice win here on some stuff, hopefully. And from there, we could start setting us up with the market. But be careful for any moves. Be smart with your profits. Be ready to go. And that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you post your watch list. And make sure we see you in the morning. It's going to be fun. I'm very happy and I'm proud of all of you guys. Hopefully, you guys got to learn something. It doesn't matter if you made money, lost money. There is something to learn. And now, don't get too excited if you come out with a big gain. Paying the plug is always humble, but pay yourself. Honestly, that is going to be the main key. And do not go crazy and take some of the, if some of you might walk away with a lot more money than you probably even expected, especially if you got multiple of these plays. And again, you could be smart if you want to parlay. That's what I'm going to do. Depending on how much I take on Qualcomm, I'm going to put that into some of these continuations, but just be smart. If anything, go take out the money. I saw Einstein said he went and bought a laptop from ANET. Maybe you guys could go do that. Go buy some long-term shares, treat yourself, but do anything but give the money back, baby. So we're going to have a lot to do tomorrow and a lot to trade, so I'll just leave it there, baby. Let's go.